Welcome, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. I'm really glad you could join me today. I have here a 55-gallon drum. It's plastic, and I had this great idea for your vegetable garden. And the idea was how you can make indestructible raised garden beds out of one of these. So I'm glad you could join me today. So what I did is I took this barrel and I put it up on one of my table saws so I could measure it and lay it out. And I just took a screwdriver, laid it under there to shim it so it doesn't roll. Now these drums or barrels are 35 inches high and 23 inches in diameter. And so what I did with this one is I divided it into 4 sections. And so basically you have 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, and then the last one here is a little higher at 9.5 inches. And so my idea is what I'm going to do is cut these all around the barrel in each of these areas here, and then that'll give me 4 22-inch circles. And then I'm going to experiment with them, either join them together to make multiple 22-inch diameter circles, or plant them in, lay them in a row. I haven't yet decided on what's the best technique. But anyhow, what I did is, I laid them out 8.5, 8.5, 8.5, and then I just extended my tape out like this and held my Sharpie at the end of the tape. And this is something I would do in the construction business. I've been in the construction business for 41 years now. And this way you can lay out plywood. If you need to run a parallel line, you hold your tape out and then just hold the Sharpie on the very end. It takes a little bit of practice, but it works out real well. And then you just go right around the barrel like so. And so you want to make sure you have a good line around the whole diameter of the barrel, and I just used a black Sharpie here. And so then what I'm going to do is get my saw and I'm going to start to cut these circles out, or rings. So again, before you do any type of project using a power saw, you want to make sure you follow the safety directions that comes with the saw, and make sure you wear safety glasses. Now I have this face mask, full shield, that I use over my head like this, and I just love this thing. It gives you full eye protection. I even use this when I'm outside using my weed whacker on the lawn. And so what I'm going to do is get my saw and my circular saw and start cutting up these lines. So I have here my DeWalt electric circular saw here, and I still kept it up here on my table saw because it gives you a nice working height. And so you just carefully want to go around following your line. And you also want to make sure you just cut your blade maybe a 1/2 inch deep, just enough to cut through the barrel. So what I'm going to do is spin this around and then cut some more. So you can see it just makes a really nice, easy cut right around the barrel. So as you cut each area, you just spin the barrel around, and you just cut right around the whole thing. It's really not that difficult. So anyhow, once I cut the barrels out with my circular saw, you could also use your jigsaw or saber saw to cut these out. And you could also lay them on the floor if that makes it easier for you to cut around the barrels. But anyhow, once I had the 4 rings cut out, I took them over to the hose and washed them out. Seemed like there was some soapy substance in there. And then I just took some sandpaper, and you just want to go around the edges and sand them real nice, get off any burrs. Now again, I cut these into 4 8.5-inch sections. You could also just do it in 3 sections if you wanted them deeper. But it gives you a really nice size planter ring for your vegetables. And then you could also place them in various patterns and designs. Now, I also I got these at a local Ace hardware store. The guy there sells these on the side, and I only paid $5 a barrel for these, which to me I think is a good deal. Again, now you have 4 planters here that you can plant your vegetables in or flowers in, and they'll last you a lifetime. They're not going to wear out. They're indestructible. You might be able to find these on Craigslist, and you may end up paying maybe up to $20 a barrel, but nevertheless, that's still a good deal considering how long they're going to last. This plastic is really flexible. It's really strong. And what I'm going to do too is spray these, the outside of these, either a brown or like a hunter green. I may even just spray the top inch or 2 of the inside of these just to give them more of a natural look. I really wish these came in like a hunter green barrel, but anyhow, you can swap these around. Like this barrel here, you could use it, even make a fountain out of it, or just use them individually as a planter. If you did use the bottom of the barrel, you'd want to make sure you drill some holes in there for proper drainage. But even the 4 of them together like this, you could either screw them together or bolt them together with some like 1/4 inch diameter by about 1 inch bolts, and put washers and join them together permanently. Or my guess is too, once they're in the soil, once you fill them with soil, they're not going to move. So if you have 4 together joined like this, it also gives you another center section right here that you can plant vegetables. Or say you wanted to grow tomatoes here and some greens, like Swiss chard or kale. Then you could plant flowers in the middle. There's a lot of different options. You could also attach a trellis to one of these and grow a vine up it, or some beans. You could also just do a configuration of just 3, as an option. Depends on your layout. You could also just put these all in a row. But anyhow, they make a nice big barrel, make a nice big raised planter bed here for your garden or for your property, and so on. And so I'm going to probably cut up another barrel and then use these outside in our Plant Smart Living garden and show people how you can plant your vegetables even in like raised pots like this. This would almost be considered like a raised pot too. Now, if these open end rings, you can just plant them on your soil, and then even loosen the soil beneath it, so you'll get more than 8.5 inches. But typically your greens only need 4 to 6 inches of soil. Tomato plant's a little bit deeper, but I still think tomato plant would probably grow fine in 8 inches of soil. So anyhow, I hope this maybe give you some tips or ideas on what to do with a 55-gallon plastic drum. Maybe this might get the ball rolling with your thinking. And with the summer season coming up and planting season for us here in Pennsylvania, I just thought it would be handy to do this video. And I'm excited to start to use these, because I know there's no maintenance, obviously, to these. They're not going to rot or rust or deteriorate, because this plastic is virtually indestructible. So what you have is an indestructible raised garden bed. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions or comments about this video, please let me know in the section below. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.